And we welcome you live inside Urbana High School's Oscar Adams Gymnasium. It's the Tigers' home opener for this 2017-2018 IHSA boys basketball season as they battle the Sabers of St. Thomas More, who have come into Urbana to try and knock off the Tigers. Both of these teams enter tonight 2-3. The Tigers opened their Big 12 conference schedule last night. A good win against Peoria, 69-59 was the final score there, behind 16 points from Perez Anderson. This is a non-conference game, and we will see how it plays out. I can read you the starters for both teams. Tyron Pickett, Keanu Duke, Peyton Sheen, Zach Glass, and Miller Calhoun get the start for Urbana. For St. Thomas More, we will see Jake Sellett, Bryson Lee, Riley Morris, Nick Freeling, and Alec Blomberg, as we are just moments away from public address announcer Nick Stillwell reading us the starting lineup and the Tiger Pep Band handling the national anthem and lineups. Let's go down to the court. Looks like we'll wait just a second as Nick Stillwell awaits his cue. And here we go. A great job by the Tiger Pep Band handling the Star-Spangled Banner. And while I can get a word in during the Sabres lineups, I'd like to mention that this is part 2 of our opening day and opening night doubleheader. We brought you the Tigers girls basketball game earlier this afternoon. They lost a close one in overtime to Peoria, the team that on the boys' side of things, Urbana defeated last night. Again, I'm Joey Wright as the St. Thomas More lineup is being introduced. And here we go down to the court for the Tigers starting 5. Verdell Jones is the coach of the Tigers, and again the starting five: Tyron Pickett, Keanu Duke, Peyton Sheen, Zach Glass, and Miller Calhoun. Both of these teams enter tonight 2-3, both looking for a key early season victory. It's Miller Calhoun and Bryson Lee in the circle for the jump ball. Urbana in white, St. Thomas More in green. We're glad you're with us tonight on the Tigers Media Network. 8 minutes are on the board, and we are just about set to open our boys basketball broadcasting season. Our first game of the season. Again, the Tigers with wins against Peoria and Washington. Took down Washington over the Thanksgiving holiday in the Tournament of Champions over in Washington. It's Calhoun, it's Lee in the circle. We are underway in Urbana. And the tip-off to St. Thomas More. Nick Freeling with the ball. He's going to drive in, looks out left, finds Riley Morris, and Morris will go back out. This is Jake Sellett. 00 is Sellett's number. Sellett's going to drive to the right, finds Bryson Lee, and Lee drives inside to the paint, kicks it outside to Freeling. Freeling lost it, out of bounds. And we'll see our first look at a Tigers offensive possession here on the Judge Green Court in 2017. And here's Carez Anderson, rather that's Tyron Pickett. And Pickett's going to look over to Zach Glass. Over to Peyton Sheen, the Centennial transfer. His first season at Urbana, he's a junior. It's Tyron Pickett now to Sheen in the corner. And Sheen back out to Pickett behind the volleyball line. And we go over to Sheen, and now Duke. Inside to Sheen. A little fader outside of the paint. It's good, and the Tigers take an early lead. It's 2-0. 7-11 left in the first. And here goes St. Thomas More driving. It's Freeling. Freeling at the top of the arc. He's going to look over, finds Lee. And the pass intended for Sellett. It's lost. The Tigers, their second possession. Here is Sheen. Sheen leads all scorers with 2 points, the only basket of the game, and it goes to Zach. And now over to Duke. Duke had 14 last night in the win against Peoria. Peyton Sheen had 12, and it goes to Sheen, and now to Zach Glass. And looks like an offensive foul against the Tigers. First foul of the game, and it's going to go against Miller Calhoun, who knows his way around a foul. Had more fouls than minutes last night in the road win against the Lions. And it goes to the top of the arc. Riley Morris over to Sellett, and Sellett looks, he's guarded by Calhoun. And Miller, good defense. Out of bounds, it will stay with the Sabers. Carez Anderson doesn't look like he is getting the start tonight, despite leading the Tigers in scoring tonight. Here's Alec Blomberg, number 14. Closely guarded by Duke. And now they're going to rotate. It goes to Freeling, guarded by Zach Glass. Freeling pulls up and ties us up at 2 with 6:08 left. Here's Tyron Pickett. And it's Duke. Duke on the right side. Now it goes to Glass on the left side, behind the arc. And at the top of the arc now is Tyron Pickett. Pickett is senior. Goes over to Glass. Zach Glass, one of the better perimeter shooters you'll find in the conference, goes to Sheen and now goes to Duke for 3 himself. Can't hit. Off the back of the cylinder, goes to Glass. And now it's Pickett who will set things up again. 5.5 minutes left in our first quarter of play. It's Pickett driving in, almost lost it. And he's going to find Duke. Duke had an open 3, but he's going to drive in, kicks it out to Sheen, who will take a 3 and gets blocked. Bryson Lee came in for the block. Miller Calhoun goes up, can't get it. And a foul will be called. Another offensive foul for the Tigers. The second time they've had a possession in that way. And St. Thomas More will take things over again. It's Freeling from the Tiger Eye. Freeling to the top of the arc will shoot a 3 to give St. Thomas More the lead, but he can't get it. Calhoun, the board, finds Pickett, and Pickett goes up to Keanu Duke. Duke number 10 back to Pickett number 3 at the top of the arc. 5 minutes left in the first. Tied at 2. Zach Glass will drive in, creates contact with Jake Sellett, and the Sabers will pick up their first team foul of the evening. Foul's currently Urbana 2, St. Thomas More 1. That foul on the floor, so Calhoun will go up and get the lay-in with some defense on him, and Calhoun picks up his first bucket of the game. It's 4-2. Here's Sellett. Sellett goes over to Freeling. And Blomberg. Freeling will get the loose ball. He will put a shot up off the glass. No good. Bryson Lee came in. What a job by him to get the ball. Couldn't hold it, but it goes back to the top of the arc, and St. Thomas More once again can't fire from three. Drawing contact. That'll be a charge against the Sabers. Riley Morris. Here's Tyron Pickett. Pickett from the U goes over to Carez Anderson, last night's leading scorer, out of bounds on St. Thomas More. Here's Calhoun. Calhoun can shoot, but instead he finds Duke. Duke will drive in. There was contact, no foul called, and a shot that only found the glass. St. Thomas More will take over. We have 3:50 left in the first quarter. St. Thomas More down 2. Sellett will take a three to give them the lead, and he will do so. They call it a three. There was some speculation on my end as to whether or not his foot was on the line. The referees say it was announced as a three-pointer. It's a two-pointer instead, so we're tied up at 4. My speculation proved correct. His foot was on the line. Carez Anderson, a fadeaway, no good. St. Thomas More will take it back up the court. We have 3:20 left in the first, tied at 4, and a three-pointer. Finds nothing but air from Nick Freeling. He airballed. And the fans will let him hear that one. Peyton Sheen will inbound to Carez Anderson. Rather, Tyron Pickett, the second time I've confused them this evening. For as long as I've been at Urbana, Carez and Tyron have played on the same team with each other. Similar size, play fairly the same style of ball, so I don't think either one of them would mind being mixed up with the other. Both very good players. St. Thomas More down the court. Both teams are trying to play fast. That's how Urbana coach Verdell Jones likes to play. And a three ball here from St. Thomas More. They can't find their way from behind the arc, but Bryson Lee is there to convert the rebound into a layup. So 6-4, St. Thomas More with their first lead of the game. Carez Anderson driving and finding his man Tyrese McWilliams. Tyrese, the big 6'3" junior. And it's Sellett. Sellett now to Nick Freeling. Freeling will pull up. And with 2:05, Urbana takes over. A nice job by Peyton Sheen to fight for the ball, bring it in, and get the lay in to go. It's 8-6. That was nearly a turnover. Peyton had to kind of go up and fight for it like a whiteout would in football, or as close as you can get to that sort of thing without having a foul called on you. Here's Riley Morris, and now Alec Blomberg on the left side. Back up to, well, now it goes to Freeling, who will drive in. And they are going to count the basket. And one for Freeling. That foul assessed to Tyron. Minute 39 left. We're tied at 8. It has been a quick first half and a quick first quarter at that. And here go the Tigers. It's Sheen. Peyton, Tyron, and Keanu have been on the court the entire quarter for the Tigers. Here's Perez pulling up for three, almost. And the rebound to Alec Blomberg and now to Nick Freeling. And up the court we go. That would have been a heck of a three from Perez. And St. Thomas More will pick up their third foul of the evening. And into the game goes Tariq Keel. Tariq, who was sidelined last season because of an ACL injury sustained during the football campaign, actually had a pretty good football season for the Tigers in the 2016-17 school year. Sustained an injury, final game of the year. He's back now. And a really good player Tariq is, or rather Tariq, so nice to see him back out on the court this season. Here's Sheen. And Sheen to Perez Anderson, who will drive in. A move, goes back and gets it to go. What a basket from Perez, and in fact the net up over the rim. That's how you know it was a great shot, great move, and a great bucket from Perez. 44.4 seconds left on the clock. 10-8, the Tigers lead. Great pass to Freeling, who will drive in, gets the layup. Almost looked like there was a little contact with him and Perez. No call. We play on. Tied at 10. 34 seconds left in the quarter. Here's Perez. Now it's Sheen. Peyton Sheen. Perez Anderson, another move. Finds Sheen at the top of the arc, and he traveled. So with 20.7 left in the quarter, St. Thomas More could hold for the last shot. And I don't see why they wouldn't go that avenue, but we'll see how it plays out. Into the game is Dominic McGreeny. And it's Freeling. Freeling to Sellett. 8 seconds are left on the clock. And Sellett traveled. So now with 7 1/10 left on the clock, Urbana will take over, and I don't see this quarter ending in a St. Thomas More possession. Urbana, in all likelihood, will make this the last possession of the quarter, unless St. Thomas More were to force a turnover. But if St. Thomas More gets another look before the quarter ends, I don't expect it to be because Urbana pushed the pace and decided to do anything before about 3 seconds left on the clock. We'll see how it plays out, of course. But that being said, tied at 10 with 7 seconds left in our first quarter of play. And it's Perez Anderson. Anderson with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perez spin move to Sheen at the buzzer. He can't hit. But what an end to the first quarter, and what a first quarter it was. We're tied at 10, 25% of the way through this one. And Perez had a pretty good look at that, just couldn't knock it in. It was off the rim. As the Tiger Pep Band plays in the background, a reminder to join us on Tuesday. Centennial comes to town, and the Tigers battle the Chargers, a crosstown rivalry game on the Tigers Media Network. That one a 7:30 start here on UTMN. Sabers cheerleaders on the court. One of our officials is Rich Doman. Rich Doman officiated the 8th grade 4A regional basketball tournament at Urbana Middle School on Thursday evening. The Urbana girls team fell short to Danville Northridge in their contest. In a regional tournament that was ultimately won by Effingham. Northridge defeated in that championship contest. Back to our game here. It's McWilliams to Anderson, and Anderson will pull up. Number 3 for 3, can't get it. And the rebound to number 2, Bryce Lee. And it's Nick Freeling who will take it up the court. Freeling looks to be a senior here on my sheet. And it's Cole Jones to McGreeny. McGreeny will pull up, can't get it. The rebound to Jones. And now they're fighting for it, and a whistle's blown. That foul will go against Keel, his first for the Tigers, their team fourth. Or rather, fourth team is a smoother way to say that. And it's number 22, Cole Jones, at the stripe. 7:27 left, and the first free throw no good. We're still tied at 10. Also, a reminder to join us on Wednesday evening. It's Tigers Wrestling. Luke Luffman will be on the call with me for that one. Luke Luffman, University of Illinois commit. Great personality. He should bring a lot to the broadcast. I'm excited. That is Wednesday night on the Tigers Media Network. Perez Anderson to Keel. Tariq Keel for three, and he got it. The Tigers go back ahead by 2 on Tariq Keel's three-pointer, and that pass thrown away by St. Thomas More. Perez Anderson to inbound. Rather, Peyton Sheen will come over and handle the inbounding duties, finds Tyron Pickett, and now to Perez Anderson. Goes over to Peyton Sheen in the corner, the left corner, now back to the top, and Perez over to the other side of the top, and Tyron. And Tyron will drive in and get it off the glass. The Tigers go ahead by 5. St. Thomas More has not faced a deficit like this tonight. Let's see how they handle it. It's McGreeny. McGreeny over to Bryson Lee. Nick Freeling. And Nick Freeling will get called with the foul. That will be his first. Not in any trouble yet. Brings both teams to an even 4 fouls. And it's Perez. 6.5 minutes to go, the second period of our scheduled 4 tonight. Here's Sheen driving in from just outside the paint, in and out. Rebound to McWilliams, and Tyrese McWilliams can't get it to go. Here goes Bryson Lee with the board. Out of bounds on Blomberg. And the Sabers will call a timeout. Matt Kelly is the head coach of the Sabers, utilizing the first timeout of the game for either side. So 6:13 to go in our first half. Home opener for the Tigers, and it's been a close one. Only ahead by 4, and there was a lot of optimism amongst the players, amongst the student body, that this would be a pretty decisive win for the Tigers. They did not expect this to be a close one, so we'll see if perhaps they, the Tigers feel that they should be ahead by more, and it's getting to them, or what the deal is with that. Here's McWilliams over to Connor Camphouse, who's in the game for the first time tonight. And goes back to Connor here. Camphouse will dish to McWilliams. Back to Connor Camphouse in the paint, can't get it. And he'll get called for the foul. Not a hard decision there. The 5th team foul for the Tigers. So they got to watch out, or St. Thomas More will be in the 1-on-1 bonus. Only 2 fouls to go for that. And Connor Camphouse picks up his 2nd team foul in quick succession. Keanu Duke will come in for the Tigers to relieve Tariq Keel. Cole Jones comes out for St. Thomas More. I didn't catch who went in for him. And that pass to Blomberg. Blomberg, a little fadeaway, no good. Up the court, quickly to Peyton Sheen. And to Tyrese McWilliams, to an open Camphouse for 3, and he got it. That's how you make up for 2 quick fouls. Drop a quick 3. to put your team ahead by 7, and he gets a steal, finds Carez. Carez puts the Tigers ahead by 9. Keanu Duke comes in. The Tigers picking up the pace. Duke will get called for the foul, but he almost had a steal. 5 minutes, 11 seconds left. The 6th team foul for the Tigers. Rather, I think that's the 7th here. And that'll put the Sabers in the 1-1. Connor noticed that there were only 6 fouls on the board, and he appealed. He's like, they shouldn't be in the 1-1. What are we doing here? Issue rectified. First free throw is good for Sellett. First bucket of the game for Jake Sellett, who also has a foul to his name. Now he can escape the dreaded more fouls than points category. He knocks down his second. Lead trimmed to 7. Anderson. Rather, that is Carez. I got that one right. Goes back to Anderson and now over to Sheen. Anderson now to Camphouse for 3 for the Tigers, no good. And up the court will go Nick Freeling. Freeling will drive into the paint. Floater fell short. First jump ball of the game goes to the Sabers. And here goes Sellett. Sellett in and out. Carez will push it up the court. And Keanu Duke was the intended target. He will get it back. And it's McWilliams from just inside the free throw line, no good. In goes Freeling, no good. St. Thomas More will pick up their 6th foul. Into the game for the Sabers, Noah Herr. He will come in to relieve Alec Blomberg. Duke will inbound to Anderson. And it goes to Camphouse for 3, and he knocks it down. Rather, that was Peyton Sheen. Peyton Sheen puts the Tigers ahead by 10. Camphouse drilled one earlier. Peyton Sheen knocks that one through. And it goes to Herr. And inside, Freeling will kick it back out to Bryson Lee, who knocks it in for 3. So the teams exchange 3-pointers. And Carez Anderson intended for Tyrese McWilliams. The Tigers lose it. Up the court, and Mangrini looks for Sellett, who misses, gets his own rebound, and misses again. The woes for the Sabers inside continue, and they haven't been very good outside either. Not a very good offensive showing for the Sabers thus far, despite them having 16 points. Anderson to Sheen, who will drive inside off the glass, no good. And that foul will go against Miller Calhoun, his 2nd foul. And Miller just seems to attract these fouls, all in good fun. He's been a part of our broadcasting crew for a while. In fact, was on the call with Stephen Thompson earlier this afternoon for that Peoria game, but he's going to have to get those foul issues worked out. hasn't been too much of a problem. Only 2 so far for Calhoun tonight. But as many fouls as he had points. So. And Riley Morris knocks down 2. Fouls will cost you. I've definitely seen worse games in that department before. Both teams are fairly disciplined tonight. I mean, I think if you're the Tigers, you'd like a few fewer fouls. But 8-5 is not a terrible way to play a basketball game. It's been a pretty quick first half. First quarter flew by. And the second quarter has not dragged along. As Carrez carried his dribble, St. Thomas More will take over. Timeout called by Verdell Jones. A full timeout. Obviously, Coach Verdell Jones in his second season here at Urbana replaced longtime coach Vashon Russell, and Coach Jones has really turned things around. The Tigers a fairly successful season last year in that they played close games and beat some really good teams. They took down Bloomington on the road. Really a signature win there. Played Centennial closely, lost by, I believe, 2 here at our home court and 4 at their court. So definitely a new vibe surrounding the Tigers basketball team as he enters his second year. And I can't wait for Tuesday's matchup against Centennial. I think that could be a Game of the Year candidate. Last year's game that was played here against Centennial, one of the best basketball games I have ever witnessed in this building. And the game over there was pretty good, too. Again, that's Tuesday night at 7:30 here on the Tigers Media Network. 2:23 left in our second quarter here. I'm Joey Wright. Casual name drop there. We move on. It's Sell It. Noah Hurd went in, and that'll be an offensive foul. St. Thomas More has to be happy with how they've remained in this game despite not really getting much on offense going. And the Tigers have not been some stellar offensive machine either, but St. Thomas More, if they had been knocking down those threes early in the first quarter, it would be a whole different ball game. And they've missed some stuff in the paint too, so we'll see if that haunts them in the second half. Maybe they'll get it going or something. I should point out, going back to last season, the Danville win here that we covered on the Tigers Media Network was a close one. It was only one because Danville and their shooting percentage, they faltered late. I mean, they weren't hitting anything in the fourth quarter, and that's kind of what enabled Urbana to move out to victory. Bryson Lee gets the foul. Bucket will be good. With the free throw, can cut the Tigers' lead down to 2. And that's Miller's third, as he is once again having his point total trail his foul total. We'll see if he can fix that as we've got 1:20 left in our first half. Minute and now 16 seconds. Tyron Pickett. Pickett will drive inside to Carrez Anderson. Carrez was wide open down low. Missed it. The rebound, Keanu Duke is going to go up and get it to go, and one. Keanu Duke steps up. St. Thomas More had cut it to 3. Now it's back to 5. Free throw on the way. It could give the Tigers a 6-point lead. It won't. Off the back of the cylinder. Gets his own rebound, goes up, draws another foul. The 7th team foul for St. Thomas More. It will go against Bryson Lee, his first. Bryson Lee leads all Sabers on the court right now with 7 points. as Duke misses his second consecutive free throw. And Keanu 0 for 3 his last three free throws, but comes with a caveat. He's been attacking, and he stepped up there, made some big plays. Got the first basket to go, even with the missed free throw. Still gave the Tigers a big 2 points. It's 25-20 now. 53 seconds left and ticking. Noah Herr will spin past Duke, can't get it to go. Duke will get the rebound. And Keanu finds Pickett. Pickett finds Anderson for 3. It's no good. Rebound to Lee. And Bryson Lee will find Freeling. St. Thomas More might hold it for the last shot if Urbana lets them do that. Here's Sellett. And Sellett will keep it. Almost looked like he was going to reverse it to Lee. And now he will find Lee. And Bryson Lee will drive in with contact from Sheen. No foul called. Sheen will get the rebound, and a foul will be called on Bryson Lee. So Peyton Sheen will go shoot free throws in the 1-and-1 bonus. A nice job on Sheen's part to hold on to that rebound. St. Thomas More has some size down low, and I think he was just a little outsized if they aren't on the same physical level. So certainly a nice job by Sheen as he converts on his first free throw attempt. Peyton Sheen listed at 6'3", 180. No heights or weights listed for the Sabers. 13 2/10 left on the clock as the second free throw for Sheen is good. So it's Freeling. St. Thomas More pushing the pace. Freeling will drive in and lose the ball. Here goes Carez. Here goes Sheen. Sheen will lay it in, and it's a 9-point lead for the Tigers. Time ticking down. St. Thomas More will not get a shot up. It fell short anyways, and the Tigers will enter the locker room ahead 29-20 here in their home opener. So a pretty quick first half that we saw, 29-20, favoring Urbana, and we will be back in a few minutes to recap it all for you and bring you the second half. Keep watching our coverage of Tigers basketball on the Tigers Media Network. And we're back, just about 30 seconds left until the start of the second half. The Oscar Adams Gymnasium, the site for Tigers basketball tonight. The Tigers enter the second half up 29-20 against St. Thomas More. Once again, I'm Joey Wright, and in the first half, it was a little closer than I think the Tigers would have liked it. But as we get set to play here, they're up 9, and Coach Verdell Jones probably told them in the locker room, just keep playing fast, keep playing Urbana basketball, and we'll get there. So it's going to be Peyton Sheen inbounding. Sheen will inbound to Tyron Pickett. And Pickett will find Zach Glass. Looks like the starting 5 on the court for the Tigers. And that's Peyton Sheen knocking it through. The Tigers now up by double digits for the first time tonight. It's 31-10. Jake Sellett to Nick Freeling, and the first Sabers possession of this second half is upon us. Inside, and a nice job by Riley Morris to draw the foul on who other than Miller Calhoun. 6th point of the game for Morris. I guess the 5th and 6th points of the game for Morris, and the 4th foul of the game for Miller Calhoun. And the free throw no good. Sabers bring it back to 9. Pickett finds Zach Glass, and Zach Glass finds Sheen. Sheen, a nice move, drives in and draws the foul. Williams now was going to check in, but as Sheen has to shoot 2 free throws, he will have to wait until after the first. And Sheen goes about his routine. The first free throw is in. So back to 10 is the Tiger lead. McWilliams will come in to relieve Miller Calhoun. I'm not sure how much more we'll see of Miller tonight. And Peyton Sheen leads all scorers with 14 points. Make it 15 as the Tigers go ahead by 11 again. It is 33-22. Here's Freeling. Sabres moving the ball around, and they've got to look to create something on offense. They had looks in the first half. They were just unable to convert on them, so they've got to be a little more efficient here in the second half. And that will pretty easily be a foul called against Zach Glass. Jake Settlett inbounding the ball. One of our officials is Rich Doman. The other 2 officials are officiating with Rich Doman. Here goes Freeling. And that is Alec Blomberg knocking it in for 2. It is 33-24. Here's Pickett. Pickett to Sheen. Peyton Sheen over to Perez Anderson. Anderson, after a big night last night, has 7 points. Just under half of his output last night against Peoria. A game that the Tigers won 69-59, I believe was the score. It's Pickett. Pickett to Keanu Duke. And Duke will go in. Nice moves on his part to get into the paint and get the lay-in. 35-24. Now, I want to point out the Tigers, they should not be too complacent here, and I hope that someone on the Tigers bench, we know Miller Calhoun was, but I hope someone other than Miller was in the gym to watch the Tigers girls team lose to Peoria this afternoon, because the games went very similarly, in that Urbana was up third quarter, just kind of cruising along. You know, it looked like they had it in the bag. They were up 16 at halftime, and Peoria came back and won in an overtime. Urbana got too complacent, a little too fatigued. That was part of it. It was a grinder of a game, but the Tigers need to keep their pedal to the metal and do just what Tyrese McWilliams just did and get the 2-pointer to go. 37-27, a 10-point game. And we've seen comebacks on the boys' side of things in this gym before. You look at the Peoria game these boys played last year. Peoria came back to win it. Keanu Duke knocks down a big 3. Peoria came back to win it. And you look at what happened, Urbana's had some comebacks of their own. You look at the Normal West game in 2014 or early 2015 it was. They were down in that one, came back to win it. Jake Sellett lays it in for 2. There's a Notre Dame De La Salette game we did not broadcast the next season that we came back and won from a similar 15-point deficit. So this gym is where comebacks seem to occur. St. Thomas More, no good. And it will go to Urbana. Here's Anderson. Anderson over to Sheen. Sheen to Camphouse. And a travel. Sabers will take over. It's Lee, Bryson Lee, finding Blomberg. Blomberg, little ball fake to Riley. And Riley now finds Freeling, who will drive. No, kicks it out to Sellett in the corner for 3, 8-point game. And that net has had some issues tonight. It seems like any time a bucket goes in, the net kind of loops itself over the cylinder. And the officials have to get that straightened out before the ball can be inbounded every time. Sheen, a spin move. There was contact. No foul. And here's Sellett. Sellett a 3, and just like that, a 5-point game. We have seen this game before today. Here's Sheen. Sheen to Pickett, and Pickett to Duke. 3:40 left. Again, our score is 40-35. 3:36 left in the third quarter. Chris Cross is in. And now it's Sheen, a nice move. Gets in, creates space for himself, and gets the 2-pointer to go. Back to a 7-point lead for Urbana. Jake Sellett has been the hot hand for this Sabres team. A fadeaway, in and out. Jake Sellett nearly grabbed the rebound. Instead, it's Tyron Pickett, who will go into Chris Cross. And Cross, an authoritative move that results in a bank shot from the paint. 44-35. And a spin move here from Freeling, who pulls up from just outside the lane. An air ball as the fans let him hear it. Keanu Duke gets fouled. Pickett checks out. And it's Cross. Cross in and out. Would have been the second consecutive bucket. He had scored for the Tigers instead. Here goes St. Thomas More. And St. Thomas More brings it back to 7. They'll take a timeout with 2:22 left in the third. Urbana High School cheerleading team leading the crowd, and obviously Urbana High School related cheers. St. Thomas More's cheerleaders have also traveled, and they're leading their crowd and St. Thomas More related cheers. So it's nice to see the cheerleaders out and about tonight. It's nice to see the pep band out here on a Saturday night too. It seems like they've slacked off a little bit these Saturday night games in the past. They are here and making their presence known. And they've been to a few Saturday games here before. That Notre Dame de La Salette game in which we were down 2015 or early 2016, I don't remember. They were here for that one, so that was my sophomore year. I don't even remember if we played any Saturday games last year here or not. I think we have one more this season, one or two more. Here's Carez. Kamari Ray Davis is in the game. Dishes it to Carez, who knocks down the 3. The assist to KRD. Carez Anderson, the 3. 47-37, back to double digits. And Chris Cross, Peyton Sheen. Bryson Lee misses on the defense, and Sheen missed. Carez Anderson comes and taps it home. 49-37, the Tigers were being tested a few moments ago, and Bryson Lee hits the 3, so I guess they're still being tested. And that net Athletic Director Steve Waller is going to have to take a long, hard look at that net after this one. He's going to have to assess the problem and figure out why it keeps acting up. Perhaps seek out a replacement. And here's Carez. That is the 4th or 5th time plays had to have been stopped for a not an issue with the net, but just for the net doing that. And that's not something you see too often here or anywhere else. Keanu Duke goes in, gets the lay-in, so it's 51-40 here with 1:08 left. And you've just got to wonder, I mean, what if that were to happen late in the game, a situation where perhaps a game-tying shot goes in, just a hypothetical with, 6 seconds left, and the net does that. What, do you stop play or let them play on? It certainly wouldn't want that to affect the game at all. Timeout called by Urbana. Not to say that, that's going to be the case tonight. Urbana, despite some mini runs from St. Thomas More here and there, they do appear to be in control of this one. It's 51-40. 43 seconds left in the third. But you never know. And basketball games are not always, some linear equation, straight line to victory. That's just what we saw earlier. It looked like the girls' team had the game wrapped up, and they couldn't finish it. So you never know in this great game of basketball how things are going to play out. Peyton Sheen puts the Tigers ahead by 13. If that doesn't tie their largest lead of the night, it's their largest lead of the night. That'll be a foul against Kamari. And it's Sellett. Jake Sellett now to Alec Blomberg, and Blomberg back to Sellett. 5 seconds left in the quarter. Urbana to Carez. Carez is going to get a shot up at the buzzer. It doesn't go. But a nice job by Urbana to force the turnover. And they at least put themselves in a position to where they could get a shot up to close the quarter. Cheerleaders are on the court. The pep band looks like they'll play a little number as we get set to begin the fourth. And they will indeed do just that. I don't mean to knock cheerleaders, but I've never been at a game where the fans did what the cheerleaders asked them to do. I mean, this cheer calls for the fans to be on their feet, and all the fans, there's not a single fan that has risen to their feet for any purpose, not even to get up and go to the concession stand. So they do a good job, but it's just I've never seen cheerleaders for any team lead a cheer. Oh, 7:50 left. That's more a knock on the fans than the cheerleaders. Big three for the Sabers. Dominic McGreeny cuts it to 10. Chris Cross is all the way down in the paint, and he'll get it to go. looked up, and there he was. Chris Cross has 4 points tonight. McGreeny. Now to Colt Jones. And Blomberg lays it in. Cuts it back to a 10. And it goes back here to Anderson. Anderson to Duke. Duke to Cross, and Cross to Ray Davis. Kamari Ray Davis will drive in. And no good. St. Thomas More rebounds, and it's knocked out of bounds by Urbana. St. Thomas More coach Matt Kelly dressed in a suit and tie tonight. Coach Verdell Jones in his signature Adidas wear. He's wearing sweatpants and a polo. The Adidas logo displayed prominently on both the pants and the polo shirt. And all of the Tigers coaches wearing the same orange and white polo. St. Thomas More inside. That pass was tipped away by Keanu Duke, so the Sabers will retain possession. Matt Kelly has opted not to wear a tie. He has one assistant that has followed him into no tie territory, and another assistant that is wearing a tie. And called for the travel is Cole Jones. And dressed up very nicely is the St. Thomas More assistant wearing the tie. I believe he was the JV coach. Not sure of his name. It's a lavender dress shirt and a purple tie. Looks nice. Really a good look on him as St. Thomas More turns it over. And here goes Urbana. The pace of the game has slowed down. The first quarter was the quickest quarter, and it seems like the ensuing quarters have gone a little slower. It's Sheen. Sheen finding Cross. Cross to Ray Davis. It's only a 10-point game and a lot of time left to play. 5:50 on the clock. 55-45 favoring Urbana. So the Tigers, this is a big possession for them. They need a bucket. It's stolen here by Blomberg, who goes in, gets the layup. Contested by Cross. A nice job by Chris not to foul. And they are going to nearly lose it again. Bryson Lee will get called for the foul for St. Thomas More. So St. Thomas More needs a stop here, only down 8. They've got to get the momentum going at some point. You can't wait around much longer. Got to go here. And they nearly force a turnover out of bounds is the call, so we'll see if they can contest it. It will be inbounded on the baseline by Keanu Duke. He will throw the inbound pass for the Tigers. Leading scorer right now for the Tigers is easily Peyton Sheen with 19. I would venture to say that he leads all scorers. He leads all scorers on the court right now. And it's Duke, now Kamari. Kamari Ray Davis is a great guy to have coming off the bench. He can make an impact on a game with just one shot. And it goes to Kamari. KRD for short. Finds Duke, and a nice pass from Kamari. A nice job by Keanu Duke down low. It's back to a 10-point game. St. Thomas More has plenty of time left. They don't need to attack with a 3. Rather, they can attack down low and try and get something in the paint, a higher percentage look. That's going to fall way short. To say that was an air ball is an understatement. That was a hot air balloon is what that was. This pass almost led Carez on a little too far, rather Tyron a little too far. And it's KRD in the corner for three. A little too much on that one. And that will be Tyron Pickett called for the foul. Tyron not in foul trouble. Only one foul there for Tyron. You look at fouls for everyone on the court right now. One for Tyron. Rather, we'll just look at who's in trouble. Miller Calhoun for the Tigers has 4. That's been well documented tonight. Bryson Lee for the Sabers has 3. And Alec Blomberg for the Sabers has 3. Keanu Duke has 2 fouls for Urbana, and Jake Sellett has 2 fouls for St. Thomas More. And this is Blomberg with an open look. A little short. If he would have just put a little more on that, that probably would have cut it to 8. Instead, with 3:40 left, it's 57-47. And here's Pickett. Pickett to Calhoun. And Calhoun to Sheen. Sheen to Miller down low. No good. A contested shot. Freeling was there for the defense, and Sellett is there for the open three, and the net does it again. Well, they might have to cut the net down after the game, but it'll hardly be a championship for athletic director Steve Waller, as he'll have to invest in a new net. Perhaps we'll take one from one of the other nets at Urbana High School, but as Perez Anderson gets the 2. But in any case, he's probably going to have to buy a new one at some point. So I will follow that story as it unfolds. Sellett's in the corner again for 3, and that one just fell short. Imagine if that would have gone in. We would have been looking at a 6-point game instead of a 9-point game. Kamari is down low, and the foul will go against Cole Jones. Kamari will go to the line. Real quick, some people behind the scenes that might not get their name called out otherwise. Nick Stillwell is the Tigers public address announcer, and Bob Smith is the Tigers statistician. Kamari hit the first free throw. We're back to a 10-point game. Second free throw is going to be off mark. That will go in for Lee, and a timeout called by St. Thomas More. We are back looking at an 8-point game. With 2:32 left in the fourth, it is 60-42. In a game that probably started somewhere around 6 o'clock, it is 6:56 right now, so this game has taken less than an hour, or around an hour, to get to this point. Keanu Duke will inbound it for the Tigers. The next jump ball arrow would favor Urbana. If we see a situation like that, Urbana does get the next jump ball. They're ahead by 8 right now. With 2:30 left, a tipped pass. And coming in hot is number 14, Alec Blomberg. He will pick up the foul. The 6th foul, I believe, is the team for St. Thomas More. Blomberg's 4th, so he joins Miller Calhoun tonight in the 4 fouls club. Keanu Duke to Tyron Pickett. And Pickett, what a pass to Perez. And here's Sheen. Urbana's going to stall here. Urbana's going to kick at 4 corners and just hold the ball as long as they can. They're going to make St. Thomas More foul him. And with the ball handlers on the court right now for Urbana, I don't know if St. Thomas More could force a steal if they wanted to, as We begin the fouls. Riley Morris. That foul, his third. One more, and Urbana will be in the 1-on-1 bonus. It goes to Peyton Sheen, the leading scorer for the Tigers and the leading scorer for the game. He goes in off the glass, 10-point game. He had a look and took it. Can't fault him there. Gets the same result as 2 free throws would have given him. What a game for Sheen. 21 points for him in his first game as a Tiger on the Judge Green court here. Jake Sellett goes in, draws the foul, and he'll go to the line. Perez Anderson, the foul. It's going to be Perez's second foul. 10 points for Perez following a 16-point outing last night. He has supplemented Peyton Sheen nicely. Other scorers on the court right now. Tyron Pickett has 4 for the Tigers, 9 points for Keanu Duke, and 1 point for Kamari Ray Davis. Sheen will go to the line to try and add to his 21 points. That foul on Nick Freeling. Freeling has 1 foul to 9 points. Jake Sellett leads the Sabers currently on the court with 15 points, 13 points for Bryson Lee, 9 points for Nick Freeling, and 8 points for Alec Blomberg, 6 points for Riley Morris. That's everyone on the court for the Sabers. Rather, this is Perez Anderson at the free throw line. His 11th point of the game. And his 12th. Timeout will be taken by Urbana. Coach Jones probably just looking to go over things with his team. And I don't know what the X's and O's of the game plan will be, but he's probably just telling his team to do the smart thing, don't be overly aggressive at this point. If we hit our marks here, the game is over. Because St. Thomas More is not going to come back into this game without the aid of some errors on Urbana's end. So Coach Jones, a good timeout on his part, a really good timeout on his part. Just to settle the nerves and iron out the kinks for this last minute and 57. It's Urbana 64, St. Thomas More 54. Again, a reminder coming up this week on the Tigers Media Network, 7:30 on Tuesday night. The Tigers battle crosstown rival Champaign Centennial. An early December tilt with the Chargers. That comes up on Tuesday, and we bring you wrestling on Wednesday. Centennial coach Tim Lavin just recently picked up his 300th win as a Charger, and a three-pointer good for Jake Sellett, so we might not be out of this one yet. A blocking foul against Riley Morris. I got to go with the St. Thomas More crowd, and that I think that might have been a charge. I'm an Urbana guy. I don't hide that, but I think that might have been a charge that Peyton Sheen got away with. In any case, in the 1-on-1, Sheen knocks down his first. He knocks down his second. 66-57. St. Thomas More has answered the call with some big threes. Instead, they're going to drive in. A nice finger roll from Freeling. And that'll be a foul on Sellett. He scored as the third foul against Sellett. Tyron Pickett at the line. St. Thomas More's got to hope that Urbana misses this one, because this is going to be the last time Urbana's in the 1-on-1 bonus. It's no good. Rebound to Bryson Lee, goes to Freeling. Freeling, and a blocking foul against Kamari. St. Thomas More in the 1-and-1 bonus as well. That'll be the 8th team foul against the Tigers and the 2nd charged to Kamari. .58 flat on the board. Freeling's first 1-and-1 is good. Almost looked like it was going to go in and out. St. Thomas More has cut the deficit to 6. And down to 5. Kamari, that was a risky pass that was almost intercepted by Riley Morris. And Peyton Sheen got lucky with the foul call there, and it was a foul. But he nearly lost the ball. A collective heart attack by everybody here in the Urbana contingent tonight, which is most of the crowd. And Sheen at the line, he has 23. First free throw, no good. What a game it's been for Peyton Sheen. His first game here, as I mentioned. We're going to have some sort of lane violation, in fact, that will not even give Sheen a chance to shoot a second free throw. Here's St. Thomas More. A big possession. They're only down 5. It's Freeling guarded by Pickett. Freeling will drive in, finds Blomberg, a 3-point game, and a timeout called by St. Thomas More with 39 seconds left, 39 and a tenth left on the clock. Urbana has not been able to close out these games today. As we've mentioned, lost in overtime. The girls did to Peoria, a game that they once led by 16. That happened this afternoon. And the Tigers have been up by as many as 13 tonight. And now it's a 3-point game. Even if the Tigers were to hang on and win this, which still looks like a very, very good chance that that happens, Verdell Jones has got to talk this team about closing these games out. It's been a needlessly close one here. Just joining us, a little recap through some smart fouling and luck at the free throw line. St. Thomas More has brought this one back to 3. They were down at one point by 13. Keanu Duke will inbound it. Duke to a wide open Perez Anderson. And it's Sheen. The ball is in the right player's hands. Goes to Tyron Pickett, and Pickett gets fouled by Bryson Lee. Lee has fouled out of the game. That's the 5th foul for Bryson Lee. He's done with 12 points. See who they bring in to replace him. It'll be Cole Jones. At the line, Tyron Pickett. Urbana has everybody back on defense. We are in the double bonus. 29.7 left. Urbana 66, St. Thomas More 63. First free throw no good from Pickett. 2 timeouts left for the Tigers, 1 timeout left for the Sabers. It's in to make it a 4-point game. St. Thomas More's got to move quick here. It's Nick Freeling. Freeling to Sellett, to Cole Jones. Over to Sellett. Sellett, St. Thomas More's leading scorer. Creates space, almost drew the foul. It's rebounded by Riley Morris, who gets it to go. A 2-point game. Timeout is called by St. Thomas More. (67-66) with 10 6/10 left on the clock. Urbana will inbound the ball. No timeouts now left for the Sabers. And 2 timeouts left for the Tigers. you've got to figure Urbana inbounds the ball to Peyton Sheen as they've now reset the clock to 12 seconds. 10 seconds even on the scoreboard. You've got to figure Urbana inbounds the ball to Peyton Sheen and just lets him shoot the free throws. St. Thomas More is going to go for the quick steal. You've got to figure. But if you don't steal it right on the inbound pass, you don't have any time to go for the steal. You've got to resort to fouling pretty quickly and just hope for two misses or making a miss. And Urbana finds Tyron Pickett. Pickett doesn't get fouled. It is Peyton Sheen and one! That'll seal the deal. Peyton Sheen goes in, gets the basket and the foul. That'll do it here in Urbana. Checkmate. Urbana, everyone back on defense. It won't matter. Doesn't even matter if this goes in. It does go in. The and one complete. 70-65. Here's Nick Freeling. One last chance for the Sabers. The three at the buzzer, no good. Urbana wins it 70-65. A game that was closer than it probably should have been, but in the end results in a Tigers victory. And the Tigers on their home opener will sleep easy tonight. So that's our broadcast. Urbana sweats one out here against the Sabers. It is a 70-65 final score. Join us on Tuesday as the Tigers battle crosstown rival Champaign Centennial. That game at 7:30 on the Tigers Media Network. For our whole crew, Jason Liggett behind the camera, I'm Joey Wright. We hope to see you on Tuesday. Your final score, St. Thomas More 65, Urbana 70. Go Tigers.